You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who believes a penny saved isn't jack Pete Schwaba.
You know it's not. Good evening, everybody. I am Pete Schwaba. Welcome to the program we call Nite Lite. It is great to have you here on this gorgeous, scorching Wednesday night. A fall Wednesday that before I left my house tonight, I turned on the air conditioning. So I hope you are all staying cool, and I can't believe I'm saying that as we venture into, well, almost late September. Great to have you here, folks. I have a great show planned for you. Two great guests, lots of fun conversation, lots of chances for you all to weigh in. The phone lines, as always, are open, and you can be part of the show at any given time. Whatever I'm discussing or Conrad and I are discussing, you are welcome to chime in and give us your thoughts, as always. It's always more fun when you guys participate. So this is a Wednesday night edition of Nite Lite. What are you pointing at, Conrad?
Your chair.
My chair. Oh, does it look like there should be someone? There should be someone sitting there. Look at all these fun people walking by. I got to do my Nite Lite window love picture, and they always start walking by the second I get behind the mic. What a ridiculous. Nobody's cooperating. All right, is that chair bothering you?
It is.
All right, you want me to move it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna do some house cleaning here, folks. This
Thank
always
you.
goes over well on radio.
Thank you.
If you could just go ahead and tell me that before we get on the air, that'd be great. Thanks. Oh, and I just moved. Oh, God.
This
I just want to say, how long have you been here today? Since like 2 o'clock, you couldn't have moved that chair?
You know,
That's better. It's still in the way. Folks, I implore you to check in on the stream. You know what? I'm going to move it for good. It's ridiculous.
Now it's out of frame. Now it's all good.
You know what? I think
no worries now.
I think we just found our Nite Lite window lift picture. I'm going to take a picture of that chair outside.
That's great.
It's like it's the ghost chair.
With your bag in it.
With my bag in it.
That's great.
All right, done. And here I am criticizing all the people walking by. There's no one like window love worthy. It's like one dude has his stomach out and his shirt untucked, and maybe that would be, okay. I don't know.
That's a cool picture.
You got to have some diversity, some variety. I agree. I don't mind a few stomachs in the window lift pictures. That is the voice of Conrad Krieger, the house cleaner extraordinaire. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
So we had a kind of a moment earlier when, well, I'll get to the question in a little bit. I do want to say, you're a Nate Bargatze fan, right?
I mean, honestly, his comedy to me is kind of dry. Like it takes a while to get to the punch. I'm not a huge fan of his comedy.
Okay. I like him. You're right. He's very dry. I like that. I like his delivery. I think for a guy to be as unassuming as he is and be able to get away with that and pack in a theater, I think is great because nowadays it's like the louder, the better. And sometimes those guys are funny too, or girls. But Nate I do think he's a very funny comedian, but he got a bad review in Variety for being an uninspired host. Apparently and he doesn't really have charisma, I would say. That's just kind of his style, is the dryness. And I could see, I didn't watch all of the Emmys, but I could see why they might think, well, he's not Billy Crystal or Jimmy Kimmel or Steve Martin. He just doesn't have that kind of personality.
I'll say this about the Emmys. Congrats to Kristen Melody. How I Met Your Mother, she's the mom. And she's the mother, and she's the only person from How I Met Your Mother to win an Emmy. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, it is cool. Did you hear what happened to her at the party afterwards?
Did she get a little too drunk?
No. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it had anything to do with booze, but she was headed to an after party and carrying her Emmy, and she face planted. And Emmy went flying, and she was okay. Somebody helped her up.
Maybe she was a little drunk.
Maybe. I would be.
Yeah, it's really cool though. I think her speech was pretty cool too. She just screamed.
I didn't see. I kind of like that. I like unbridled enthusiasm, like when all decor is gone, because it's a big moment. It's like, it's the same thing. Like you win an Emmy, that's like scoring a touchdown while being chased by humongous fast people, and you beat them and you scored. And I remember when I was younger, and people would, like Walter Payton would always just hand the ball to the ref. And it was that school of thought, like act like you've been there before. I get that. I get that. I also don't mind a guy who flips out. He just scored a touchdown.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool thing to score a touchdown. You know, they should, I think how the Emmy should go. Every speech should go like Adrian Brody.
Is he still talking?
He might be. I wish I had that on hand.
I have those arguments all the time with my dad, because my dad is so predictable. He'll see a touchdown dance and I'll go, geez, I just don't like when they do that stuff. I'm like, what are they supposed to do, Dad? Like turn and shake hands and say, very nice touchdown.
You know, there's a certain, I think you got to be kind of tamer on it, because I've seen some of these new, like, you know, these like 8 youth leagues, and they're doing touchdown dances.
That's too much.
Pretty provocative, actually.
Like shaking their hips and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's. I'm like, okay, this is. How does the ref not be like, all right, well, we should probably give a flag to that 8-year-old.
Pop Warner football. You don't even have anything to shake. What are they doing? That's hilarious. But anyway, so there's more Emmy news, and that was kind of cool. Hey, by the way, I drove down here tonight. 2 things. Someone like stared me down for passing them on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe they just, maybe they thought, oh, there's a nice looking guy, or I like his car. I like the way he's got his hair feathered. I don't know what they were thinking.
What a mountain of muscle that guy is.
Look at those guns at 10 o'clock at 2. No, but he just kept staring at me. I'm like, dude, if you don't want to be passed on the right, get out of the left lane.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I noticed. When did the Equinox become the American car? These things are everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
And maybe they're great cars. I don't know. I've never owned one, but my buddy Tom Boyle just bought one. I've seen there's like 2 of them parked out here on the street. I passed like 3 of them. I think they make an electric car now that's really popular, and they must be offering deals because everybody has one now.
Yeah, I think I at least see 2 every day.
2 Equinoxes.
Let's
do some digging on this one.
We'll take a picture of every single Equinox we see.
Got to do a deep dive.
Yeah.
Hey, this is exciting, folks. If you're listening in Milwaukee, check us out on 100.3 FM. 100.3 FM. That's our new signal, and new to downtown Milwaukee. And feel free to share that with people. And the frequency is out there, and that's a new way to listen to us in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Go UWM Panthers. That's what I got to say.
It's got to be pretty close to
I'm sure they'll get it
UWM,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers. Are they good?
Never.
How'd their football team do last year?
They don't have one.
Oh, I know.
But the basketball, I prayed for them to be good, and they just never.
They have had good teams though.
They keep almost making it to March Madness, and then they fall a couple games short in the tournament.
Recently, but like I want to say 15 or 20 years ago, they had teams that got in and won a couple games. These Wisconsin teams, other than UW, which made a Final Four and has had a lot of success, like UWGB, UWM, they were like those teams for a while you did not want to play in the tournament.
What's UWGB the last 2 years has made the women's basketball team has made the tournament.
Correct.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, you're right about that. That is pretty cool. And they're still good, right?
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to be good this year.
They should be good this year.
I thought I read that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think without further ado, it's time to get to the Nite Lite question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
Who is the best athlete turned actor or actress? Who is the best athlete turned actor or actress? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. This is kind of a weird thing, and you see this occasionally. It's mostly wrestlers, like we were talking about before the show, because, wrestlers are showmen, or women. That's what they do. So I think if they can tone that down and learn how to act, sometimes they're not that bad. And you put you put in as a joke The Rock. But, and I know I've joked about The Rock too, but listen, The Rock is in talks for an Oscar nomination with this new movie he's in called The Smashing Machine, where he plays an MMA fighter. That's why he lost like 70 pounds. So the guy is trying to be a great actor. I commend him for that. We'll have to see, but he got like a 15-minute standing ovation, I think at the Venice Film Festival about 2 weeks ago, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think, because he did say this was like his first serious role. That's not, because his other stuff is mainly just like comedy and throw a little bit of action in there.
Fluff, yeah.
But I definitely have heard that this movie is his best.
So you might put him on there, but I remember when I was a kid, a lot of, like, I remember seeing Dick Butkus in movies and like, who was the guy? Jim Brown. Jim Brown was actually not a bad actor. Like, he always played kind of a tough guy, but he had nice moments. Like, he was not a bad actor. But Dick Butkus, I never need to see acting again. Michael Jordan, you could talk about Michael, LeBron, Shaq in those kid movies. I don't really think that counts, but if you want to put that in there, you can. And you and I both had the same answer.
We did, and we didn't even talk about it either.
We did not. Go ahead and share it with the people.
Well, of course, we got the best character in Happy Gilmore, Carl Weathers. He's done other roles, obviously, than just Happy Gilmore, but
like a little role called Apollo Creed, where he was excellent.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of the best. And Dave Bautista, he's had some cool roles.
Yeah.
And he was in Murder Mystery or something. Knives Out. That's what it's called.
Knives Out. Yeah, right.
And he was in the second one, and he plays in a hilarious character in that. And he's also in Guardians of the Galaxy.
And he's very funny in that. I could take or leave those movies, but he, to me, is the best thing. I don't remember which one I saw, but he's like the pirate with the face of an angel. Like, his delivery was great.
He also plays, a bunch of, kids movies as well. Like this movie called My Spy, which I thought I'd hate, but it actually was kind of wholesome.
That's interesting. Yeah, he's got over 150 credits as an actor. Like, if you told me how many credits does David Bautista have, I'd say, I don't know, 20. This guy has worked hard, and I'm going to find the name of this movie I saw. My buddy Dave Hendrick told me, it was like a streamer that I did one night. It was not a great movie, but he was good in it. So
he was also in Dune. I forgot he's in Dune.
Yes. Yeah, no, he's good. I like David Bautista. I don't know that he could do, like, is he ready to do a role like The Rock did and drop 80 pounds? And maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying they can't do it. I mean, wrestling is theater. But it's hard. And, Ronda Rousey has made the jump, and Gina Carano, like MMA fighters, but they're like action, and that's fine. That is acting. But give me an actor who's like Arnold Schwarzenegger has done. Yeah. He's a movie star. I wouldn't say he's a serious actor, but he's good. And
Serena Williams has done some stuff.
Has she really?
Yeah, cameos here and there.
Oh, funny. Bushwick, that's the name of the movie David Bautista was in that takes place in New York. That was the first thing I saw him in, and he was decent. It was a bad movie, but he was pretty good. All right, who is your favorite? Who's the best professional athlete turned actor or actress? That is tonight's question, 855-752-4842. Text us on the app. Drop us a stream comment if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or X, and be part of the show, folks. When I come back, I'm going to tell you how many side orders I'm allowed to order through DoorDash. That's coming up next on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. It is great to have you with me, folks, on this Wednesday night. A scorcher here in Wisconsin. Who knew? It was pretty hot today. In fact, I was in denial most of the day. I'm like, God, I'm really hot. What am I doing? I'm just not exercising enough because I'm like sweating and it's fall. And then I looked at the thermometer. It was like 82 degrees in Marinette, Wisconsin in September. So the earth is probably going to end soon, but it felt great today. On that note, so our question of the night, folks, is who is the best athlete turned actor or actress? Conrad and I had the same answer. I'm not going to say this has never happened before, but it's kind of rare. We both said David Bautista and Carl Weathers. And I would put, the jury is out. Maybe David Bautista is actually better than Carl Weathers, but I don't know that he's had those roles yet, but we'll see. But let us know who you think is the best athlete turned actor or actress. That is our question of the night. And while I'm at it, boy, I've got two really fun guests tonight. This is exciting. I've been trying to get this, our first guest on, who will be here at 6:35. Been trying to get him on the air for a couple months now. We kept missing each other, but he is an Appleton-based actor who has had tremendous success in Hollywood. His name is Mike McGill. You've probably seen his work on Shameless or Bosch or many other. He was also in The Office, Conrad. Did you know that?
That's pretty cool.
He played a character named Kenny Anderson. He did like half a season or something like that. And I did not watch The Office that late in the run. I kind of stopped watching after season 5. And I've seen sporadic episodes, so I don't know if I've seen Mike on The Office, but he's had a ton of success. He's a heck of a nice guy, and I would expect nothing less from a good Wisconsin boy who went out and conquered Hollywood. That's very cool. So he is from Appleton, and he will be here at 6:35. Anxious to talk to Mike. And then my pal Greg Schwem, syndicated columnist and comedian, will be here at 7:20 to discuss a really cool fundraising event for colorectal cancer. Greg will be here at 7:20. He is a syndicated columnist. He writes his own column called The Humor Hotel on Tribune Media Services. We're going to talk a little bit about the kiss cam incident. He had a funny take on that.
Oh, okay.
And the woman who grabbed the foul ball in Philly. Oh. We didn't really address that on this show.
Well, yeah, that was bad.
I think that happened the night before I was off or something, and then I just kind of forgot about it. But yeah, that was. We'll talk about that with Greg too.
Yeah, it sucks. That kid did get some cool stuff because of that.
Yeah, true. Because his dad got bullied.
I mean, I think his dad just said enough, was like, fine, whatever, just take it.
Get out of my face. Yeah. It's a stupid baseball. But still, I don't know that I would have given that up. I mean, because I've been to enough baseball games in my life where I feel like it's not easy to get a foul ball. It doesn't happen to everybody, even if you go to a lot of baseball games. So there's no way I don't think I would have coughed that up. But anyway, we'll talk to Greg about that at 7:20. Mike McGill at 6:35. I don't order DoorDash very much, and I think I mentioned this before on the show, but today I ordered something, and the establishment I ordered from, the DoorDash app gave me the option. It said, side items, choose up to 5.
Oh, nice.
Why is that nice?
Did he choose up to 5?
No. Who's ever ordering 5 sides unless the Jacksons are coming over to have lunch with me or something? Like, first of all, it's a weird psychology because they're saying choose up to 5. Are they trying to use reverse psychology and think I'm going to go, well, wait a minute, I want 12 sides? No, nobody orders 5 sides. And if you ordered more, they'd give it to you. So why are they? That must be like a marketing tactic or something.
Any way they can make more money, they will do it.
Of course. It's just really strange. All right, let's read some text. We got some stream texts here for our question tonight. Who is the best professional athlete turned actor or actress? Eric, our pal Eric Rathsack. Why hasn't Eric been on the show in a while?
You got to come back, Eric.
What did I do? I did reach out to Eric, but I'll follow up with him. The lead singer of Ask Your Mother. Eric says, can't wait to hear Mike McGill tonight. Well, that's refreshing, Eric. And I love that Eric's a rock and roller, but he can't wait to hear the actor. That's kind of fun. Yeah, thanks for listening, Eric. Great to hear from you. Mike Desitel says the Equinox is the new Buick LeSabre. Mike knows my issues with the Buick LeSabre. I've called it the most sexless car you can buy. That's the car, if you have an erection lasting more than 4 hours, you go sit in a Buick LeSabre and you'll lose your boner. That's what I'm saying. That's the car to do it in. Now, it's not as sexy of a ride as the Buick Lucerne. You know,
who comes up with these names?
They're awful. Like a Lucerne is like a wheat field.
You could do a Buick Le Schwaba.
That would be better.
That would be cool.
I still wouldn't buy one, and it's my name. But the new Buicks look kind of cool. I don't know what is with those words, though. Dave on the stream says the guy that played Hunter, Fred Dryer. Oh, Fred Dryer was a good actor. That's a great pull, Dave. And he played Dave something on Cheers. He was a sportscaster, and he was really funny. And he was a pretty good football player. I don't know if he's like an all-pro or anything, but great sense of humor. Yeah, Fred Dryer. That's a great one. Eric Rathsack says Bubba Smith Hightower. Good
Great.
one.
Police Academy.
Police
Love
Academy.
that.
Absolutely. Jeff on the stream says actor and athlete Mark Harmon. Okay, Mark Harmon, another one. It's funny, too, because some of those people, like Mark Harmon, I think of more as an actor. Like, he's acted his way out of his sports reputation. And I'm not saying he's Laurence Olivier, but he's very serviceable, good actor on NCIS. And the fact that I forgot he was an athlete means he's made the jump. Thank you, Jeff. Craig Kinnett says, how about 1953 Mr. Universe contender Sean Connery? Does he count? Yes, he does, Craig. And I saw that when I Googled some of these names earlier. Sean Connery was in that contest, but he wasn't huge. He wasn't but he was really kind of ripped and chiseled. Sort of he had kind of like my physique, Conrad.
A mountain of muscle.
Mountain of muscle. Mike Destel says, Alan Autry, former Packer quarterback Carlos Brown, played the part of Bubba in The Heat of the Night with Carol O'Connor. Oh, on the TV show. Okay. Awesome texts, everybody. Keep them coming. We'll read your stream texts or your text line texts as the show progresses. Coming up after the news, Appleton kid done good. Been out in Hollywood for years. Mike McGill will be here. We're coming back. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite, and it's great to have you with me on this Wednesday, folks, on the Civic Media Radio Network.
My sweet Lord, oh my Lord, my sweet Lord.
Welcome back. This is Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba. You just sent me a message about Gary Oldman. I forgot about the clips.
Yeah,
we'll get to them. That's funny.
There's some great clips.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I need a haircut, by the way. I can't get into. Do you have someone here in Green Bay?
Yes.
But you pay like $50, right? For that. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
Teasing. Half kidding. Hey, all right, we'll do haircut stuff off the air. Right now, folks, I'm very excited to welcome my first guest of the night, as I mentioned before. I've been trying to have Mike on the show for a while now, and it worked out. He's agreed to join us over the stream tonight. He is an Appleton native and a very accomplished actor, and he seems like a heck of a nice guy. Conrad, I will be surprised if Mike and I don't hit it off.
Yeah, I would be surprised
I'll let
too.
you be the judge. But Mike McGill joins us now on Nite Lite. Hi, Mike.
How are you, Pete?
How
are you?
You could tell Mike is an actor and used to visual mediums because he's waving on the radio. But you are on the stream, Mike, so we can see you. How you doing?
I'm good. And since I'm on the stream, I made sure I wore my Donald Driver throwback jersey.
Oh, you just made Conrad's day. That's a sweet jersey.
But now yours. I heard you're a Bears fan. Is that true?
It is true. I'm as much of a Bears fan as you can be over what's happened the last several years. And I spent the first part of my childhood in Chicago, so I am a Bears fan, and you can have fun with that.
You know, if that's the team you grew up with, and I'm sure in your youth they were steamrolling, right? Sweetness.
It was great, yeah,
exactly.
For that, but you sound like you're kind of complaining when you're from Chicago, and you say, "Well, the '85 Bears, like arguably the best team ever," and then but we're all mad that it wasn't a dynasty. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So anyway, you guys have done pretty well with your Packers the last few years.
If you told me after Aaron Rodgers won that first Super Bowl that they weren't going to win anymore with him, I would have been like, "You're nuts," but here we are. So
true, and I thought the same thing with Favre, actually, to be honest with you. So
right, yeah.
But whatever.
Well, I married a Bears fan, so
oh wow,
I can't escape you guys.
And you're still together? How long has it been?
Oh, luckily, when we first started dating, the first time I went back and met all of her family, the Bears had just come to Limbeau Field, and they completely obliterated the Packers. So I got nothing but guff from her whole side of the family. and that was the year. That was the year that they went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Colts. But ever since then, fortune has been on my side on this rivalry. So
yeah, I will say.
Let's hope that continues.
When you said that, I was racking my brain. I'm like, when would that have been? They went to Lambeau.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Well, that's great. Hey, Mike, do you have a favorite professional athlete turned actor you could share with us, or actress?
I just saw that scroll down, and I was trying to think of a professional actor turned athlete, and for whatever reason, the first thing that popped in my head was Lawrence Taylor in Any Given Sunday. I was
yeah.
He did a pretty good job for an athlete turned actor. Now, he might have just been playing himself, but I thought he acquitted himself pretty well in that movie.
Okay, that's a great one. I thought maybe you would have said Favre because of Something About Mary, but
he's a category of his own there. But and then of the wrestlers who are all becoming actors, I think Dave Bautista does a nice job. The things I've seen him in, he did a good performance. So
totally agree.
How about yourself?
I said David Bautista and where I don't even remember my answer. Mike, here it is. David Bautista and Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers, yeah. Oh man, Action Jackson. That's one of my my faves from the '80s. And Predator, of course.
Predator.
So,
and
you know what?
Apollo. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I might have to do a 1B, and I might have to change my Lawrence Taylor answer and go with Carl Weathers. Chubbs Peterson. May he rest in peace.
Exactly. That was what Conrad said. And here's one I forgot about, Mike. Fred Dreyer, who was on Cheers back in the day, and then he was Hunter. Yeah,
Absolutely.
he was pretty good. So it can be done.
He had a nice run. Absolutely. Yeah. It can be done. Absolutely.
Well, all right. So let's switch the conversation. You didn't come here to talk about Carl Weathers. I want to talk to you about your career.
I can talk about Carl Weathers. I can talk about Carl Weathers all day.
Wouldn't that be funny if you could? Like if you were the Carl Weathers guy and this
that would be. Yeah.
This film Penny you sent me, this short film with you and my pal Lance Barber in it. Give me some background on that. That was like 10 years ago, and it was about a wishing well and the pennies, and Lance is the guy that fixes it. And you play Lance's dad. That was a very sweet little film.
I did, yeah. No, I honestly, I think it's probably one of my favorite projects that I've ever been involved in. It was a short film about 15 years ago. My wife, Amy, was pregnant with my about to be firstborn son at the time. So I wasn't a father in real life yet, but I was playing one.
Wow.
I was playing one in the film, and then now I look back on it and I was like, I guess I did all right for just winging it and not knowing what I was doing. But Lance is a fantastic actor. Reginald Vell Johnson was in it. Don Stark from that '70s show. They got some really good actors in that thing.
They did.
And it's a 20-minute movie, but I thought they did a really nice job with it. And I was very happy with it.
And Reginald Vell Johnson from Die Hard, right? He was the cop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Powell. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's a big Twinkie. Yeah, right?
That's a big
Twinkie. That's Ghostbusters. But he was getting the Twinkies when they were turning my car to Swiss cheese. I need backup now.
That's the thing that's great about LA. You're shooting a short film and you get actors with major credits. Right. It's a home run.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I really enjoyed it. So
my pleasure. I enjoyed because I did my homework over the weekend and revisited The Godfather of Green Bay. So I knew we had the Lance Barber connection there. And I have to tell you, I don't know what I'm more impressed with, that you got our mutual friend Dawes to do the Macarena, or that you got him to dress up in blaze orange and pretend like he was trying to relieve himself in the woods. I mean, that's talk about high caliber acting.
It took some, Mike did not need that much direction. I will say at a screening we had in Marinette, when Mike was doing his thing where he was squatting in the woods, he got a huge laugh. And right as the laughter died down, you heard his mom say, "Michael, I'm so proud of you."
It was like his own personal Oscar moment.
Oh,
right?
it's hilarious. But that's what when you screen a film in a town where you shot it, nobody's listening to the story. They're all like, "There's my garage.
Right.
That's my Uncle Fred." You know, it's like I don't even think people knew what was
That
going
was
on.
Mason Street.
Yeah, right.
I go to that bar. Yeah,
Exactly.
For sure. I mean, honestly, I do that. Now when I look at old films, and you probably do too. After living in LA, you're like, oh yeah, I know that neighborhood. Oh, there's Pink's Hot Dogs. There's such and such. But but when we were in Wisconsin watching them originally in the '80s, I had no reference for it. But
isn't it a blast though? That's so much fun to
really
do. Like I remember, here's a crazy, and I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I remember being I dropped my son off at school. I'm at Colfax and maybe Tahunga. No, I'm at Colfax and Riverside. Or I'm sorry, Moore Park. And I see the two motorcycles pull up and CHP Chips. When I was a kid, I remember watching that show, never even questioned what Chips stood for. And I'm like, oh, Chips, California Highway Patrol. I looked from the motorcycle up. Who's crossing the street but Larry Pine, the guy from the show Chips? Chris Pine's
Sergeant
dad.
Couturier.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy stuff like that.
We're a big Chips family out here. My wife sat down and watched them. They ran them on like MeTV.
Yeah.
And when my boys were really little, they watched it ad nauseum. And then cut to, we went to one of those autograph shows out by the airport, and the cast of Chips was there that weekend. So they all took a picture with them.
Nice.
They got to meet Ponch and John, sit on the motorcycle. So it was a big deal.
Oh, what a thrill! That's so cool.
And is it Richard Pine? Yeah. Is it?
Oh, you might be right.
Robert Pine.
Robert Pine. That's it.
He was there too.
That was just such a weird serendipitous morning. It kind of made my day, So, all right. So let's do this, Mike. Mike McGill is my guest, folks. He is a native Appletonian who has been living out west for years and has some great acting credits. He's a very good actor, and he's here on he's here on Nite Lite for a little bit tonight. And it's great to have him. Mike, tell us a little bit, for people who don't know who you are, and I can't believe, since I told people who's on the show tonight, a lot of people know you. But for those that don't, tell us how you got started and a little bit about your background.
My dad, may he rest in peace, his 89th birthday would be this Friday the 19th, but he's no longer with us. But he took me to the drive-in to see the first Star Wars when I was a little kid. That's the first movie I ever went to go see when I was a little kid. And I think from that moment on, I just knew that was something that I wanted to do. I grew up in Appleton. I grew up on the lakeshore of Lake Winnebago.
Oh,
went
nice.
to Appleton East High School, and then I went to UW Stevens Point, UW Oshkosh, and got a degree in radio, TV, film. But I always knew that I was going to pull up my stakes and head west when the time came. And boy, when you're in your early 20s, I'm not sure how old you were when you decided to head out there, but people would say, you better give yourself a year to get acclimated out there. And I thought, and maybe you need a year, pal. After a year, I'm going to be starring in TV and movies, baby. And then it's like cut to 3 years later, and I still haven't worked out everything yet. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But I just I flirted with Chicago for a while, but I thought I'm just going to be delaying the inevitable. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to get out to LA. So I moved out to LA in the spring of 1998, and knocked around for a few years, and then luckily in the early aughts, I started booking a few things here, mostly TV shows. I'm getting an occasional commercial and an occasional little bit role in a movie, but for whatever reason, 90% of the jobs I booked were TV shows. And with a name like Michael Patrick McGill, 90% of those 90% jobs were cops. So,
right.
And the other 10%, now I'm moving into my bartender phase. But it's always a blue collar role. It's a cabbie or a security guard or, the angry dad, but it's always, a construction worker, that kind of thing. I'll probably never get cast as the, chief of surgery or the managing partner of a law firm. But hey, you find out where you find your niche and you work within it. So
absolutely. So did you go right from Appleton to LA, or were you in Milwaukee? Or
I did.
Oh wow, that's
No, I
a
went right-
really
I went
big
from-
move.
Well, you got to swing. You got to swing for the fences, right? When you're
Absolutely.
24, 25, you don't know any better, so you're just like, I'm going to do this.
So
I mean, I would have loved to spend some time in New York, but
yeah.
and I always hope a job will bring me out there. But to this point, I've only been to New York once on one little trip, and I said I wanted to go see a taping of The Late Show with David Letterman and go see the Statue of Liberty. I got to do both of those things. So everything
there you
after
go.
that now is a bonus.
That's awesome. My guest is Mike McGill, also known as Michael Patrick McGill by Screen Actors Guild for Screen Actors Guild purposes. When we come back,
I have to be Michael Patrick McGill because they have a skateboarder who was in a bunch of 1980s movies.
Oh my gosh.
Professional skateboarder named Mike McGill. So he beat me to it.
You should be able to take that back. Statute of limitations. We are coming right back with Mike, and I'm going to ask him about his time on Shameless and Bosch. Don't miss it, folks. We're having fun here at Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Oh, where can you go when your money gets low? In the basement, down in the basement. And if a storm is taking place, you can jam and still be safe.
Welcome back.
In the basement.
This is Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba, and our question of the night is, who is your favorite professional athlete, or who was the best professional athlete turned actor or actress? Jim from Appleton, he's in the 920, says, best athlete turned actor, Alex Karras. That's a pretty good one. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from Airplane, of course. Those are two I'd kind of forgotten about. That's a great one. And then Cody from Madison in the 608 says, have you guys tried the new wing restaurant next to you on State Street?
No, I haven't.
We have not, Cody. We're in Green Bay right now. I do the show from Madison sometimes, and I will put that on the list, though. Thank you for your text. We'll get to more of your texts coming up in a little bit. Eric Rathsack on the stream says, met Mike at Jones Park a few years ago. Great dude, referring to our guest, Mike McGill, actor and Appleton native.
Buddy,
Do you remember Eric, Mike?
he's hard to forget, man. He's a tall drink of water.
Yes.
His nickname Stretch, and he's the front man for a cover band called Ask Your Mother that plays all around Wisconsin. They sound great, and they were nice enough to let us. I have some friends from high school that formed a rap group called Shad Rap, and we performed. I just happened to be in town that weekend, and I hopped in and performed with them. And Stretch and Ask Your Mother let us perform during one of their breaks, so it was fun.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a blast. Yeah, Eric and Eric has been in the studio before. They've performed. He's great. So
he's a cool dude.
yeah, that's a great text. Thank you, Eric. We'll have him back on soon. Okay, Mike. So we got to get down to all right. The first role I saw you in. I'm a huge fan. I love cop shows. And I love The Wire. I would say after The Wire, maybe Bosch is my favorite cop show. And
Nice.
you played a detective, a Vegas detective, and you were great on it. What was that
Thanks, man.
experience like?
It was really great. First off, since you're a fan of the show, you know how great of an actor Titus Welliver is. So I was excited to be working with him for sure.
Yeah.
And when they were originally casting that, my agent was a friend, or my agent was a fan of the Bosch books, so he was pushing me to get in on that show. And I actually went and auditioned for the pilot to be the two detectives, Crate and Barrel, to be one of those guys.
Okay.
And I remember I had worked on Shameless that day. I had rapped, and it also happened to be my son Jake's third birthday. So I kind of was like, I don't know if I want to go all the way and do this audition because I want to get home and celebrate his birthday. I thought, okay, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. My agent's a fan of the show. And so I went, and it was one of those auditions where the producers don't even bother looking up when you're doing okay, thanks for coming in. I knew right then and there. I was like, okay, well, I didn't get this one. So let me go get my son's Thomas the Tank Engine cake and go home and celebrate with him. But cut to, a year or two later, and the Ivy role came up, and I auditioned for it. And, they had me do a couple of episodes and then were nice enough to bring me back for one of the final episodes on the last season. But it was really cool. I really enjoyed working with Titus. And, Matthew Willard was one of the other guest stars I had to work with. So, yeah, it was a great show.
He played an FBI agent, Lillard did, exactly. And you played the Vegas detective. And you were a great kind of foil to them because Titus's character, Bosch, the title character, is kind of a hard ass. And you came across as this sarcastic, nice guy who was willing to put up with stuff, but you could be a hard ass if you had to. And that was a great character. What did you do, like 4 or 5 episodes, and it was so memorable.
Well, thank you, man. Yeah, I do remember there was one episode where we came in and shook down, Matthew Lillard's apartment, and they had, like the props had put a sleeve of Ritz crackers or something out, and I improvised. I grabbed one of the crackers out of the sleeve and ate it, and made the producer laugh, and it ended up staying in the episode. So I was proud of it. I was like, my improv made it to the final episode. So, but. Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I would have loved to come back for more, but beggars can't be choosers. I'll take a handful of episodes. They'll be done. So,
I have kind of a weird question for you, Mike, and I hope I phrase this right. But as an actor, you've got this great material that Michael Connelly wrote, or that ended up being on the screen. As an actor, is it easier to do good material, or if you see a bad script? What is more challenging? Because I'm sure there's the stakes are higher when you have a great writer, but when you don't, you have to bring more to the part. What's more of a challenge?
I think trying to raise up something that isn't awesome. If it's great, you would know if you get sides. I remember getting an audition for Ray Donovan.
Oh yeah,
and it was a great show, and I was like, man, I can't believe how easy I locked in all the the lines because it was a really good written, a great written scene.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times, sometimes you get like a multi-camera sitcom and they're cranking them out, and usually the role of the guest stars in those things isn't to be funny; it's to make the regulars funny. You're the setup person, especially if you're a cop and something like that. So a lot of times, my manager, my agent, they're like, "Well, I wasn't really that funny." I said, "Well, you got to consider the source material, and you also have to consider I'm not going to be the one getting, the punchline.
Right.
I'm not going to have the Dawes moment where, he's in the woods and mom is so proud of his little boy, So, but you do the best you can. You try to do the best. I usually try to put a little button at the end of auditions, but sometimes it can be something just as simple as a facial reaction or just a sigh or something like that. Something, because these casting directors, especially these days, they don't see you live and in person anymore. They're looking at 500 tapes and they're all going to see the same performance. You're just looking for one little hook that maybe is like, oh, that was interesting. Nobody else did that.
Very well said. That's a great answer. All right, we're going to do the news, Mike. Can we keep you for a few more minutes past the news?
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah, sure.
When we come back, we'll ask Mike about his time on Shameless, and we're talking acting in Wisconsin and all kinds of... I might even ask Mike what his favorite haunts are in Wisconsin when he comes back. We'll do all that after intermission. Act 2 is coming up next. Greg Schwem is here at 7:20, Tribune syndicated columnist, telling us about a great event coming up, but more Mike McGill when we come back. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.